And welcome back. I'm Marcus Peter. I'm blessed to be joined by Nathan Mech. He is the founding director of the Collins Center for Abrahamic Heritage here at the Acton University. Nathan, thank you very much for making the time. How are you?
I'm great, Marcus. It's been a fantastic week. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's been a year since I spoke to you. Just share with us what's been going on at the center.
We've been going all into the AI topic because as much as AI has been the major topic lately, there's been surprisingly little interfaith engagement around AI ethics. We saw a landmark encyclical that had AI ethics as a major focus. So we're trying to bring also Jews and Muslims into the conversation. We had a conference in March close to the Vatican on this exact topic. We have an upcoming one in December. And here at Acton University, we're also organizing panels and discussions between people of different faiths around AI ethics.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that because obviously that's not only one of the hallmarks of Pope Leo XIV's papacy. He's made that very clear with this.
Yes.
I argue his seminal encyclical. The other beautiful thing is he's so young and he's demonstrated a great propensity for writing. He's going to start producing a lot
Absolutely.
over and above the Magnificat Humanitas. But using that as a stepping stone to also address the reality that this is humanity's perhaps primary anthropological concern.
Yes. The anthropological issue is always the foundation of what we talk about at Acton University. It all comes back to the human person. And now AI is raising interesting and challenging questions about the human person that we need to address. Not only are questions about AI, whether it can have its own moral status, whether it should have its own rights, both morally and legally. Those are difficult questions that the faiths have a lot to say about. But also, as machines are becoming more human-like, humans are at risk of becoming more machine-like. So we are having to address the role of religious institutions in helping people stay human.
There's an objectivity that comes from the Abrahamic heritage for thinking about the human person, especially within societal engagement. Share with us about that.
Absolutely. So if you try to provide a secular account that shows that humans are distinctive from all other animals and also from technologies like AI, it can be done, but it's very difficult. This shows the value of faith traditions because we read in Genesis that man and woman are created in God's image. That endows us with an innate dignity that separates us from all other beings. So right there, you have an answer to this really tricky question, and that is through with Judaism, Christianity. Islam does not specifically teach that we are made in God's image, but also grounds human dignity into the vision of the human person. There are some Muslims who believe that we are created in God's image, but that's more disputed in Islam.
It's more speculative. It's not in the text.
Correct. There's a hadith that says something similar, but it's disputed. So the value of faith tradition really helps us get to the heart of the answer of some of these ethical questions very easily.
One of the core realities of the Judeo-Christian framework especially is the preservation and thereby theological elevation of natural law conversations. Some people might be listening to this thinking, well, why do I need religion if I can just reason from a natural law perspective, especially about the human person and AI?
Yes. You know, natural law is another one of the key things we talk about at Acton University, and the Collins Center is also involved in deepening the discussion of natural law within Judaism and Islam. It is especially important discussion within Islam, where Quranic literalists will often try to apply the Sharia to modern day circumstances with a very literalistic interpretation. But if you apply a natural law approach, where you can look more towards the spirit of the law rather than the letter of the law.
And you bring a hand of interpretation to it as a result.
Yes, and it opens up a door of hope for the Muslim world to really accept personal liberties and equal application of human rights. And so natural law in Islam is very important. We have several scholars that we've convened here to talk about questions just like that.
Mustafa Akyol being...
Mustafa Akyol being a major one, and there's others as well. We have another Jewish friend, Jonathan Jacobs, who's preparing a book on natural law from all three of the Abrahamic faiths, and there's others as well.
So let's go back to the AI conversation. Like you rightly mentioned, perhaps one of the most concerning things is the technocratic, I mean, dare I say technocratic right, the technocratic spheres are trying to push for a kind of anthropological acceptance of the technology as it emerges.
Yeah.
And that's, like you mentioned, it's going to present a problem of humanizing the machine, but also mechanizing the human person.
Yes. Already companies like Anthropic have made it clear that they take the moral status of their AI models very seriously. They say there's a strong probability that it already has moral status and may in the future have human-level moral status. Now, the ethical risks here are severe in both directions. Suppose there is a being that does have significant moral status or intrinsic dignity, and we don't know that it has that, or we don't recognize that dignity. Then you have severe moral consequences that have often been observed with humans not recognizing their fellow humans as having intrinsic dignity. On the other hand, if an AI system does not have moral status, but we treat it as if it does, then we will be allocating scarce resources towards those systems away from humans. Here's an easy way to explain that. Suppose I think an AI chatbot has equal moral status to a human, and I have 2 chatbots downloaded to a hard drive. In the event of a house fire, if there is a child who's at risk and a hard drive, I would save the hard drive if I had that false belief.
Because you've got 2, in this sense, dignified persons, as opposed to the moral calculus of saving the one child.
Right. So a lot of people assume, what could be the harm in overestimating the moral status of AI? Well, the harms are enormous, and it's easily explainable in these rescue cases where you have these difficult dilemmas, but there's other cases as well that we could come up on more on an everyday basis. So I think it's very important to get this right, and the Abrahamic traditions have rich resources to draw on to help us do this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I actually think that's a brilliant analogy. That's a very, some might argue reductionistic, but the truth is, it is a very concrete way to help us understand the problem with anthropomorphizing technology, and thereby, as we're navigating this from the Abrahamic heritage perspective, one of the things that we also need to acknowledge is there's a need for, undoubtedly you're facing this, there's a rising tide of anti-Semitism that's coming out of what one might consider the traditional right now, especially the neo-traditional right.
Absolutely.
Can you just briefly speak on the need for understanding the shared patrimony that Christianity has with Judaism?
Absolutely. It's very sad to see so many Christians embracing anti-Semitic attitudes, and also anti-Muslim attitudes as well. We speak about both of those things, but it's really been a recent change that anti-Semitism has been rising in a lot of Christian circles. There is no reason for a Christian to be anti-Semitic. We share scripture. Sometimes it's said that the faith of Jesus is what unites Jews and Christians.
It's a
the
very
faith
good point.
in Jesus is what divides us. But there's so much common ground. We share most of our scriptures, we share most of our theology, and also our heritage. And it's not just the common ground. Christianity teaches us to love everyone. That includes people similar to us, but also people different from us. So Christians need to view all people with love, compassion, and hospitality, and view no one as lesser than us.
Well, I'm very glad to have connected with you. Thank you for making the time. I know you're very busy, but this has been a good conversation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marcus. It was a pleasure.
My guest has been Nathan Mech. He is the founding director of the Collins Center for Abrahamic Heritage, and we've been talking about some of the efforts of the center, but particularly in terms of examining the shared patrimony and heritages, and in particular, in greater focus, the artificial intelligence question and how that pertains to the dialogue on human dignity and anthropology. Stay tuned. I'm Marcus Peter.